Hey there. It's been a bit over a month, hasn't it? And I come back to hoping to watch something that I might enjoy. And then, yeah. Sorry to disappoint anybody who loved this. Um, hey everybody. Movie Review Next Door here, and I'm back with another video because I was like, you know what? This popped into my head. I really wanted to give it a chance because I have some mixed feelings on the Terrifier franchise so far. Um, but yeah. Right off the bat, I'm gonna say spoilers for that's what the review is. Terrifier 3. Spoilers because I have to talk about many things in it. Terrifier 3 is a horror film directed by Damien Leone. 2024, I probably already said that. Sorry, I've been away so long. I have to get back in the groove of this. I don't know if I'm coming back for sure. I just really wanted to talk about this. Stars: Lauren Lavera, David Howard Thornton, Samantha Scafidi, Elliot Fulham, Margaret Ann, Bryce Johnson, uh, and Antonella Rose. In this film, 5 years after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and Jonathan are struggling to rebuild their their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind, but just when they think they're safe, Art returns determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe. So, what did I think of Terrifier 3? Um, I didn't like this one. The only one I have enjoyed to an extent so far, like as a full movie, was the last one. And that's odd because I will readdress my issues with all three of them, or with the first two, including this one. But the second one is so much better than this, and I really fail to see how this is the better film between this and the second one. I will get into a bit of a heated rant. The highest I can give this one is like a 5. And again, that's not the worst thing I could give it because that usually means like I can see what it's trying to do, but it doesn't quite hit the mark. There are really good things about this, and I will get to that, but let me get to the cast first, and then I'll get into my thoughts on the other parts of the series, since it has been a while since I did those reviews. Lauren Lavera plays Sienna Shaw, the survivor from the last film, one of the two. I like her. I like this actress. I think she does good in this role. Maybe I'll check out something else she's been in. She hasn't been in a lot of stuff that's like well known or well regarded. So, um, we'll just see. But I don't mind her as this final girl character from the last film returning. I'm really happy they didn't just kill her off, just for shits and giggles. Um, David Howard Thornton plays Art the Clown. Art the Clown, as a horror villain, I don't mind Art the Clown. I don't think he's an all-time great horror villain at all. I don't see that point of view personally. If you love him, awesome. I just don't. But David Howard Thornton clearly knows what he's doing. I think throughout this entire film he does a great job playing Art, but I think he was much better in the second one. I think him taking it a bit more serious in the second film made it a lot more enjoyable. Samantha Scafidi plays Victoria Hayes, or the witch. She's okay, but she's also one of my problems with this film. Elliot Fulham plays Jonathan Shaw, Sienna's brother from the first film, also returning. He's barely in the fucking thing. This is a 2 hour and 5 minute film, and he's in it maybe 7 minutes. And he is a major character from the last one. So, that was a fucking waste. And I'll get to that. Margaret Ann plays Jessica. I think she's the aunt of Sienna. She's like taking care of this kid. She's fine. Bryce Johnson plays Greg, the uncle. He's fine. And Antonella Rose plays Gabby. Again, she's fine. Okay. So, just a quick run through of my thoughts on the series. Because I own the first two films. I know I don't own the first one on Blu-ray. I found it at a thrift shop. I bought the second one full price. Because I love supporting independent horror. Independent film in general. Independent action, sci-fi, whatever. Terrifier 1, I know exactly what it's going for. The director, I'm pretty sure, went on record saying this was more of a, more of an exercise in effect than it was supposed to be like a movie. I don't think it's great. I'm not huge on it. The effects are really fucking good. I'll agree there. It has a lot of tonal issues, I think, where it goes between the scene of him like shitting in the bathroom, getting it everywhere, which is supposed to be comedic, I guess, but because it's not scary, to him turning a fucking guy into a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern. So I do not agree with these quotes. Up there with Freddy, Jason, and Jigsaw, or makes Pennywise look like Krusty. I don't think it's that memorable of a character, but go off. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the first Terrifier, personally. And that's okay. So not be a fan of an indie film and still support independent film. Terrifier 2. Yes, this is the collector's edition. It's mostly a normal Blu-ray with some features. I think this is, again, the best one so far. Letterboxd and IMDb would tell you that this is the second best. I believe it's the best. I think it's the closest to being an actual movie, where I feel like there's actual progression in characters. Like there's some good imaginary like one of the best scenes of the second film to me is the dream sequence where you have Art basically just shooting all these people up and Sienna finding the sword and everything. That was a very memorable scene for me. It was creepy. It mixed the whole like it because the second film wasn't self-aware, and I like that. It wasn't trying so hard to be like, oh wow, people actually recognize this guy. Oh wow. And yeah, it the second film took itself seriously, and I think that made it feel a lot creepier. That it wasn't trying to be like, oh, in your face, like remember this or that. Terrifier 3. Like, again, I think this is technically better than the first because it's trying to be an actual movie still. But character-wise, fucking Sienna goes nowhere. You basically have characters who don't evolve or regress at all. You have Sienna and Jonathan being the characters that come back, which is fine. Makes sense. But Jonathan doesn't do shit. And Sienna basically just does the same thing that she did in the second one, where other than being scared because she doesn't know this guy and well, she didn't find out that she didn't know that her dad was hiding from him that whole thing, until like later into the film. She's still she's basically going through a lot of the same motions as the second film. Oh yeah, and one big issue I had with the second film was the length. That's 2 hours and 19 minutes, which is way too fucking long for a horror movie, let alone a slasher movie. This film is quite a bit shorter. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes. Still way too long. I'll get to that. But oh my god, there's such a jumbled mess. So first issue. This film has way too many wink wink nudge nudge moments. Again, self-awareness. This film is way too self-aware because there's constant talk by characters about, like, remember the Miles County Clown? Remember the Miles County Clown? There's a podcast doing an episode on it. This film feels more like Scream 5 and 6 than it does Terrifier 3. This barely feels like a Terrifier movie, even though I only like one of them so far. And even that, it's kind of half-hearted in a way, because it's like, yes, I'm glad that they tried to have a story, and even though they kind of fucked up a lot of moments, like with the mom, like a lot of characters go nowhere that could have gone somewhere, and there could have been like an interesting like dynamic, or something like actual stakes. But this film squanders that constantly. The self-awareness and the tone of this film is all over the fucking place. When the last film was constantly serious, the only times that things were kind of darkly funny were when it felt natural. It was early in the film. You hadn't had a bunch of, like, mass killings like in this film. And, it works better. I think it works better when you know when to reel it in. And again, the second film is very over the top. And that's what it's supposed to be. But here's the thing. The kills in the second one, even though there are less in the second one than this, technically, they had more impact to me. Because most of the characters in this film that get killed, it's in the scenes where they're introduced. The kids at the Santa thing, the opening, the opening scene couple and their kids. The Santa, Clint Howard's character at the bar, Bradley Stryker behind the bar. There's a lot of random cameos from character actors in this. That's cool, but Clint Howard barely gets anything to do, and his death is really boring. Pretty much everybody that dies in this, or most people that die in this, you know absolutely fucking nothing about. And I could say that partially in the second one as well, but in the second one, the characters that you did know about got really interesting, really fucked up, and actually creepy deaths. The one friend, one of Sienna's friends that has the kill that everybody refers to from the second film, with the bleach and with the salt. Like, that is such a cruel fucking kill. And because the film has been taking itself seriously up to that point, I felt it, and I was like, yeah, this is a bit fucked up, and yeah, I wouldn't say I felt queasy, but it got the effect it was supposed to out of me. And I'm fine with that. I love horror. But this film, so many kills are cheapened by either the music or the tone. There's a kill later on with Jonathan's like college friend and this girl that's doing the podcast, where they're having sex in a shower, like one of the college showers. And like, yes, the kill is very well done. That is one of the big things I can give this, which, like, that should be the bare fucking minimum in a slasher, is that the kills are interesting. But right after, there's a fucking song called It's a Terrifier Christmas that plays. And it just, cuts through the fucking tension with like uh the tension that was building in that scene where it was like, holy fuck, something insane's about to happen. And then just, I think the entire horror of the scene is ruined by that insane fucking tonal shift. And it did piss me off. I legitimately rolled my eyes at the screen when this happened. Like, I don't get it. Like, maybe somebody can alert me to why this choice was made. Um, but yeah, I didn't like that choice. There's many other moments where Art rolls up to like a Christmas party at the frat, which I was expecting there to be like a bunch of kills at the frat. Like they set that up. They're like, "Oh, you want to come over to the frat party?" I thought that was going to be how Jonathan like meets up with Art again. Jonathan never sees Art in the film. And spoilers again, Jonathan dies off screen. Now, granted, Jonathan's actor, fucking Elliot Fulham, I don't think is that great of an actor. And I didn't think he was that good in the second film either. But this is an important character from the last film. And you've had all these talks about notes between him and Sienna, and him talking about as long as she's alive, people are going to keep dying. And like I'm like, okay, this is building up to them like joining together and actually like maybe fighting back against him together. No. There's the last you see of him is him freaking out because he hasn't been taking his pills, takes pills and goes to sleep. And the last mention of him is oh wait, no. Actually, the last time you see him is oh, the uncle's gonna go and get him because she sees on the TV that Art blew up a bunch of kids at the mall. And nobody knows that it's Art. She knows it's Art. But and then that's literally the last you see is somebody replicating Jonathan's voice because I guess that there's something that I don't know if it was ever explained in Terrifier 2. The witch character, played by Samantha Scafidi, uh, from Terrifier 1 and 2. Uh, the witch that follows Art everywhere. She can replicate the voices of people he's killed. So, I don't know if that was ever explained. If it was, somebody let me know. But it wasn't in this one. Uh, and yeah, your basic reveal of this is that there's a head in this cage, and Victoria says that or I just had to call her the witch. The witch says, "Oh, this is your Gabby or whatever." And then later they're like, "It's not Gabby. She's here. This is Jonathan's skull that we've stripped." So again, another off-screen kill. Um, there's a lot of off-screen kills in this. That's another weird thing. If you're gonna be like, ooh, ultra-violent slasher, there's a lot of really good kills in this. But why would you have multiple off-screen other than just to have that like shocker? They killed off Jonathan and he had barely had a character in this film. Like, you have to earn that shit. You have to have him do something of worth in the film before you kill him off, even if he is from a previous movie and he didn't have much character in the last film. So you've basically got an audience that's like, oh, even though apparently a lot of people are eating this up. I know I'm getting stuck on certain things. But yeah, that uneven tone makes a lot of these things feel cheapened. Uh, Again, fucking Sienna does not have nearly the amount of character that she did in the last film. Even though I wouldn't say her character was amazing, I thought like her arguing with the mom, having problems after the dad's death, fucking her dealing with stuff at school, like you actually had like a character that was going through things. And then in this film it's just one time she sees her friend from the last film who got her body fucked up by the bat, one of the better kills of the second one as well. And I thought that scene was kind of creepy, but they have her they give her this really fucking bad dialogue where she's like, "Pass me the rice. The least you could do. You got me killed. You're the one that got me killed. You should pass me the rice." Like, it cheapens it. I think it would have been a lot creepier if she just said, "You got me killed," like once, and just stared at her or something like that. But like, no, they go too far. That's a big issue. They go too far, and I'm not talking about the kills. The kills are fine. The kills are not as memorable as the first for me, for the most part. Nothing in this film, I think, tops the friend getting killed from the second film. Like, you have a lot of really good kills, do not get me wrong, and they're very high quality kills. One of the best ones in this, I would say, is the Santa one with the liquid nitrogen. Even though for some reason Art just straight up shoots it shoots Clint Howard in the head and shoots Bradley Stryker in the neck. That was kind of boring. But the Santa kill was really cool. I liked the like hitting off pieces of his flesh. That was cool. But most of the kills in this, like, yes, they're well done, but that's what most of this film is about. Because the second film, again, tried to have more of a story, even though I'm not a fan of the film just having so much time dedicated to characters walking, or way too much like time spent just waiting for something to happen. This film improves on that significantly, but the ending of this film is like 30 fucking minutes long, when all of the stuff that happens in the ending could have happened in 10, 15. It's at least twice as long as it should be. This film could easily be edited down, or could have been this story could have been told in like an hour and 30 minutes easily. But there's so much unnecessary babbling, like at the bar scene. There's so much time spent like with them shitting around with Art, and I'm like, cut this down a bit. Just get the fuck to the kill. Like, I get it, but there's no way any of these people are going to live through this. You already know. It's kind of the same thing as like an action movie where you have like the main character has like a daughter. Like, you know he's going to live through everything because he has to get back to his daughter. It's kind of like that, but the reverse. You know these characters are going to die. You might as well fucking get to it. Because the only reason these characters are dying is so that you have a horror movie. And it would help if there wasn't all of this stupid supernatural shit with Art. Um, but yeah, what else? The film looks alright. I'll give it that. It looks nice enough. The $2 million budget, I think, shows for it's 8 times the last film's budget. Um, the God, I am trying my hardest here. And it's not because I'm still like I am still a little bit screwed up in my like personal life, but like the maybe it's helping me vent off a little steam, or blow off a little steam. Um, Trying to think of things I liked. Well, again, Lauren Lavera, I like her, but there are a lot of really cringy bits where there's like this flashback with her and her dad, like, and the creation of the superhero character that she basically became in the last film, where she's like, you draw women, but you never draw them as superheroes. And then at the end, or when we go back to another scene, which it's Jason Patric from Speed 2, from a bunch of teen movies from the 80s. I like Jason Patric all right. As her dad. and he's like, "Oh, she can beat up 10 Blaster Mans," and I'm like, "Okay, you're going too far. You're going into like Disney girl boss territory where you're like, oh, of course she's a woman. She can beat up any guy." It kind of pissed me off. It didn't go as far, but the dialogue there was just not good. Um, but yeah, the score is fine. Not as good as the last film's score, mostly because this film relies way too much on Christmas music that kind of cuts through the tone of each scene. Um, but yeah, like I don't have a ton to say. Again, the kills are very well done. I can't I keep hearing people talk about this film outdoes the second film in terms of how brutal the gore is, but maybe it does. Maybe I'm just not in the mood for it. That could be it, but like I could never see myself really enjoying this one over the second. Just from what I usually look for in a horror movie and the fact that this film like kind of makes it into a big joke, it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't think it was that nearly as well done as the second film. So call me crazy, but yeah, I really didn't care for this one. If you do, awesome, but yeah. That was my review of Terrifier 3. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door, out.